cross 1,000 borders just so I can be with you. Loving you's a mission, but I'm ready, ready. 1,000 borders just so I can be with you. This love I got is nothing to be played with, baby.
Hi everybody, my name is Fezile and this is Bonga. Together we call ourselves Bonga and Fezile. Welcome to the Mixed Relationship series. I would like to thank Angela and Oliver for this honor of giving us to share our mixed relationship with you guys. So yeah.
It's mixed from the perspective of that I am Xhosa and she is Swati. She is from the Bonga province of South Africa. I'm from the Eastern Cape. And by that virtue, that kind of makes us a bit different, but our hearts are connected, which makes us one.
Definitely.
Oh my God! Wow!
So we have a series of questions that we're going to take you through. A few questions that have been given as a guide in terms of us speaking about our relationship. The first one is, what was your first impression about your spouse?
Oh my goodness, the first impression I had about my spouse was he was at SCF, he was an usher there. It was my first time seeing him, and I mean never did I even dream that we were going to be each other's spouses. And I looked at him and I thought, wow, he is quite dark. And he had a shiny nose. and there was nothing to it. That was just the first impression. What was yours?
My first impression of what I can recall, I suppose there's only one first impression, but I've got a series of first impressions because at different times I kind of graduated from, oh, there's a person there, oh, there's someone whom can be a friend there, oh, there's a spouse there. So the one that comes to mind right now is when we were as a group of ushers from Gospel Church going to visit one of our members who had just given birth. So we're part visiting to see the child and also just to see how they were as well. So that involved traveling from Observatory all the way to Maitland, not a long distance, but we needed to do it via a train. So there was a lot of walking, and in between the spaces that we needed to walk, there was this one lady who just kept everybody laughing through and through. She had one-liners, she had long stories. I cannot quite recall the stories, I just remember that I was pretty much laughing through and through, and I thought to myself, who is this lady? So that's basically the first impression that I think weighs more heavily than any other ones. Yes, she was just funny and I wanted to know who is this person.
I'm not sure about funny, but oh, second question, how did the relationship start? Basically, he had to leave Cape Town to realize that he likes me.
Okay. We were friends because we served in the same ushering team at Gospel Church, and that was in the year 2011. So we stayed also in the same kind of area. We stayed in Rondebosch, and we pretty much walked quite a lot actually. After service, would take a taxi most of the times in the morning, and then after service we'd walk back. That happened mostly for Sundays and even on some of the Wednesdays that we worked together. So we got to converse quite a lot and just getting to find out one another's thinking styles, I think you'd call it that, and involved a lot of discussions about from politics to fashion, to the word of God, to church. It was pretty much covering everything. So it was from there that I kind of formed a bond with her, and then from there on I think I got hooked. I then relocated to Joburg, and then 3 months went by where I did not really make any contact. I was still trying to settle in there. settled down there, and then I realized that something was missing within my space. There was this person who was no longer there who played quite a crucial role.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
In the beginning of April, I came down to Cape Town with the intention of asking her out, and I asked her out. It was a Saturday. Then I was to leave Cape Town on the Sunday. It was the 7th of April actually, and then she said she wanted to think about it, and then that took like a week, and then she came back on a Friday, the 13th of April, where she basically texted me saying that there was something that we needed to talk about. So from there on, it was pretty much so.
Yeah. What did you like or dislike most about your partner initially? What I liked about him was that he was very neat.
Continue.
He still is, but at that time I was I was just taken aback with a guy who was very neat. His sneakers were always clean.
Continue.
His shoes were polished. I mean, those are the things that I paid attention to. His shirt was, ironed to the T, and that impressed me, and I liked that about him.
Whoa, wow, I deserve some accolades. Accolades.
In terms of dislike, what did I not like? I didn't like that he was bold. That. But yeah, let's end there.
What did I like? I liked, as you probably can pick up from my initial impression that I gave earlier on, I liked, as you can see, I liked the part where she was easy to be around with. She made you feel comfortable, and she didn't try to impose her views or anything like that on you. We had some strong discussions even while we were still friends, and I remember that some of the stances that she would take were more along the lines of, this is you, this is how you do things. That does not mean that that's how it also impacts all that. Doesn't mean that that's how other people should do it just because you prefer it that way. So she was a very open-minded somebody, and she was funny. She had these one-liners that she would drop every now and again. So it was somebody who made you feel comfortable. I really liked that about her. And as you can probably see, she's quite beautiful. So, so yeah, that is one of the things. And I met her in church. I mean, come on, she served the very same God who myself.
Be careful of church people, though. And then dislike?
Dislikes? No, I don't think my mind was in a space to be processing dislikes. I was in love, and
Really?
yeah. So,
Like not even one thing that you did not like. Just one.
no.
Sincerely, you get out of here right now. What?
You complained a lot about my height.
I didn't dislike it.
Okay. So you
No.
didn't dislike anything?
No, I didn't dislike anything. Like I'm telling you, I was a guy, I was in love. So there was nothing to really
Well, I'm
think.
happy with
the
that.
focus, The focus at that time was all on the things that I liked.
Next question, how influential
Look at this. Somebody come and look at this.
were your differences in your relationship, race or cultural background? I think I'll start with this one. Well, I think race is covered with the same race. Cultural background, that was a bit different for me, because when I actually got married, into the Xhosa culture, is the way that they will dress umakoti, which is what is umakoti in English? New bride.
Newlywed.
New bride.
Okay.
Okay,
New bride.
well, we're gonna call it new bride, yeah. Or just makoti, just no.
Yeah.
It was different for me, because the way that they will dress, that is how a young widow dresses like in Swati, and having to overcome that but was it a difficulty? And at the same time, I didn't want to disrespect my in-laws and have them think that I do not appreciate the culture and I just want to impose my own. So that really was a hard thing, but I think also the fact that we communicated about it and he understood and he was able to share it with family, that made sense to them and helped out. And some of the things that made the whole dress up awkward was actually removed and it made it all swifter. So yeah, I think the best thing is having your partner have your back in most of the things that you don't understand, or have him explain them to you, or if he also doesn't get it, then ask. And actually taking that initiative, it helps a lot, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Yes. The other part from my side that I would say was quite influential, stemming from our differences, is the fact that it fights against you making quite a lot of assumptions about the other person. So it forces you guys to talk in terms of, because you assume the starting point is that this person is super different, not just from a gender perspective, but even from just the way that they've been taught to do life, and the things that say matter to them and to you can be quite different. So you end up having to sit down more regularly, I suppose. I don't know, never been in a relationship with someone like me, but anyway, it kind of forces you in a way to have that communication line open all the time, because you cannot just assume that, oh, this person sees it the way that I see. So it opens up. You need to be somebody or a group of people that speak about such things more regularly than, say, normal.
So, and also, yes, definitely that will influence how you do your relationship. And I mean, in terms of food, my husband didn't understand the whole concept of pap. I mean, I grew up eating pap. That was
Jesus is Lord.
every day. So that was the norm. And I mean, and I came in with that, oh, he needs to be fed pap. And only to realize that he actually doesn't like pap. So I had to learn. And also because I'm more of a healthy freak, so that helped a lot. Because I could serve him something else other than pap. And also incorporate how I perceive what food is. But it was not really culturally influenced. You can say we're sort of creating our own thing. We I mean, we won't put a name and say it's Xhosa or Swati. It's just a mix of the two, and with our own spice inside. How did you overcome the challenge of differences in your relationship?
And the other thing, I suppose, that we can add just to touch on the question is around how you communicate, because we basically decided that seeing that salt was flowing all over my head, and even sometimes my closer, as much as she does understand, there are certain things that she doesn't understand the way that, say, a closer person would understand them. So we just settled on speaking in English whenever, most of the time when we're having an important discussion, it will mostly be in English, so that we can understand each other for what we are trying to say, other than the cultural or those kind of things that influence language that you may feel that you're expressing, whereas the other person may not be grasping. So yes.
Okay. How difficult was it for family and friends to accept your relationship?
In my family, we do not speak a lot. We are a collection of people that keep things kind of undercover. If you're boiling, you'll find a way of letting out steam in your own way. So that is the kind of background I come from. So when it came to me picking her as my wife, even when we went there initially to introduce her to my family, they were open in the sense that, let's meet this lady, who is she? But I think there was a sort of a question at the back of their mind that was saying something like, okay, why did you have to go pick that far?
I dodge it in Jesus' name.
When you could have picked here. So there was a sense of that, but it was never really spoken. So sometimes the best way of dealing with things is to speak about it. If they don't bring it to you, don't dig it up because you will not like what they bring up. But basically, they've had to adjust to that idea that, oh, my wife is not closer, and probably 9 out of the 10 things from a cultural point of view she will not grasp from you just telling we're going to do this. You need to explain it to a certain level of detail, which actually even exposed how little I knew of most closer things. So every now and again I kept having to call home just to find out, oh, how is this going, or what is the meaning of this. That's my way of trying to enable them to accept, or even her to open up to the people from home. So yeah, it's still work in progress.
I think you've covered everything. No issues on my side. They adore him to the point where I'm jealous. What do you do together all the time, and what do you prefer doing separately? We basically do everything together. I think we are that couple that is so obsessed with each other.
Oh my God!
Literally.
Same house, same bed, same food, same kettle, same bath, same car, same pretty much everything.
Yeah, we do almost everything, but there are things that I actually enjoy doing by myself, including like exercising, going to the gym, most basically because he ends up taking over the gym session and start telling me how to do things, and and when I go for yoga, just to set back from my husband's expressiveness. He talks quite a lot, and sometimes I just need time off and just need silence, and I've realized that sometimes just stepping away helps a little bit with that.
And I used to struggle with that initially when we started staying together, because in my head I was like, when we were dating and we were interacting outside the places where we stayed, we always spoke. There was always a conversation that would be going on, even when I'm by my place and she's by her place.
But we're not at each other's faces all the
I'm
time.
getting there.
Oh.
I am trying to say, so the exposure that we had one to another was always an active one. There was always something being said, a way of communication. And now, when we got married, it would happen that she needs her time. And so I struggled with that. I'm like, what did I do? Why are you trying to avoid me? I'm your husband. And those kind of things. But I've actually gotten to understand that she's quite different from me in that sense, that she's got her own preference of how she likes to relax, which is very different from me. I like to sing, I like to make noise. I could, man,
All the time, guys.
not noise in that sense,
all the
it's
time.
musical. I sing.
The moment you open his eyes, he sings.
That's why they're clowns. But anyway, yeah.
Anyway.
So we're quite different in that sense. So I watch sport by myself. She's tried to get into sport, but yeah, it's not her thing. So I just made peace with that. It's my thing. So whenever I'm going to do sport, more often than not, I'm gonna do it. If we're sitting within the house, it's my thing. Sometimes we do go together to soccer stadiums, to rugby. We've been to cricket as well. So it just, when it comes to sport, I just make peace that it's my thing.
Can you recall the most romantic moment you've shared? A romantic moment that we both shared. I think the proposal was pretty cool. That was really nice. When we went to Port Alfred, I think he enjoyed it more. He was, because I planned the whole thing, so I knew what I was expecting. It was more for him, and he really enjoyed it. So
yes, went for game drives, went for some lunches on the beach.
Yeah, he couldn't stop talking about it. I mean, to this day. How do you feel when others find your partner attractive? Personally, I think, oh my god, wait. Like, I'm like, I feel, what is the word? Like, it makes me feel really nice. that he's attractive. I think he's attractive, and the nice thing is I am not the only one who thinks he is. So that feels really good. I don't have issues with that.
I have a lot of issues with that. I am a guy, and most of the time I interpret things from that perspective. So when I see a guy giving her a certain look or even making comments to suggest certain things, the first, or at least the initial reaction, even without thinking about it that deeply, is to guard. It's like, no, my guy, that's mine. Talk about that to someone else. Talk about that to your friend, but don't bring it to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
I crossed 1,000 borders just so I can be with you. Loving you's a mission, but I'm ready, ready. 1,000 borders just so I can be with you. This love I got is nothing to be played with.